Manchester United are reportedly closing in on finalising their deal to make Kieran Trippier a Manchester United player for the 2021-22 season. He's currently on annual leave after his exploits at Euro 2020, and the player has been informed that he will be a Manchester United player by the end of July. This deal seems to be closing in very, very quickly indeed. Reports of between 18 to 20 million pounds to make him a Manchester United player. Also, other verified reports from The Athletic today that Jack Grealish has agreed personal terms with Manchester City and is poised to make a move to Manchester, to the blue half of Manchester, to strengthen Pep Guardiola's team ahead of what they hope to be their title defense season, to go back-to-back 2 times in the last 5 years. There are some contrary reports coming out that maybe he's also about to re-sign with Aston Villa and agree a new deal with them. We're going to delve into both those stories. And an interesting tweet that we saw across social media, a fairly big Arsenal account has claimed that after Juventus were rejected in a 30 million euro bid for Locatelli, Arsenal have reportedly had a 40 million euro offer accepted. It doesn't mean the player has decided to join Arsenal at this time, but could this be a positive outcome for Arsenal if Juve fail to make up the rest of the bid? Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that share button. Subscribe to the Football Terrace. This is the Done Deal Show. Here we go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Terrace. What an evening we've got for you today. A number of transfer stories to jump into as well. And we're going to play a bit of a game tonight. We're going to play a little bit of a game tonight. We've already shared the link, by the way, for you to phone in. We're going to get a poll to go out very soon as well. A big question to be posed to our wonderful Football Terrace community. But we're going to take this away slightly. From the overall transfer. What is this? From the overall advert played then. Sorry, I know the overall transfer talk. I'm going to delve into some of the big free transfers that are going on this summer. With Donnarumma, of course, completing his move to PSG. We want to take a look at who you think the best or the most valuable free transfer has been in recent years within football. We want to hear from you all this evening. But let's delve into some of this news right now. Kieran Trippier to Manchester United is a deal that was very busy, was very much talked about in the build-up to Euro 2020, and then it went very silent after Manchester United had a £12 million bid for the player turned down. However, in recent days, the increase in attention around this deal, the speed of which Manchester United are acting is absolutely brilliant. You've got the representatives, of course, of Kieran Trippier that are absolutely desperate to get their player away from Atletico Madrid. They want to get him back to the UK. He wants to be back in the UK. He's had a great time over in Spain, but he feels that his time there is now done. He wants to come back to the Premier League. Man United need cover in the fullback position, but Man United want cover in the fullback position from an experienced player and someone that can really challenge. A report this afternoon, and I'll read this tweet out here, claims here that Kieran Trippier has been told that he will be a Manchester United player by the end of July, with personal terms already being agreed in principle. So agreed in principle is the same as saying they're not going to be a problem. We know this is not going to be a problem. I'm intrigued to know what people think about this deal as it closes in. I know a lot of people were skeptical this morning over the story from Neil Custis, but a lot of what he says in relation to Kieran Trippier seems to be verified in one way, shape, or form. No one's claiming it's going to be by the end of next week, but we only have 2 weeks left in July, so there are additional claims here, as I've said, that it's closing and it's going to be happening. Samuel Luckhurst earlier on today also claimed that, spoke about this situation when he was asked on, whether or not Man United will sign Varane, Trippier, and of course Sancho. He went on to say they certainly want to. I think Varane will happen, and if Man United want Trippier badly enough, they should be able to make that happen as well. Rob Dawson today says Man United are interested in the right back Kieran Trippier, but will not pay the release clause of his contract, which is 40 million euros. So there wasn't too much of an update from him. So I want to give you an idea of what different journalists have been saying about this deal today. Some claim, like the likes of Custis, like some of the writers over at 90 Min, and a few other outlets, that this deal is almost imminent, almost done, almost over the line. It's going to be happening by the end of this month. There are others that are questioning it, saying actually it can happen, it may happen, but let us wait and see. I suppose the wood's going to we'll be able to see the wood for the trees very, very soon in relation to this one. But I want your thoughts and I want your feelings on this potential deal. Ryan here on our Twitch account says, hi, Terry, hope all is well. Sancho, Trippier, Varane, good window. Need to sort out CDM. I think it's a very good window if we bring those players in. And when you can, it is a lot of money for the three. You're talking about, if we get them in for the prices quoted, you're talking about 120, 130 million for all three of those individuals. Is there money left to then go after somebody else? I don't know. I don't know if there's any, maybe we've got another 20, 30 million. I think the sale of a player or two is going to be very, very important indeed. If you are waiting backstage to come on, we will get you on. You just have to wait patiently there, I'm afraid. Won't be able to just throw you on straight away as we're going through some of these stories. First, Terry, does Ollie want Trippier at the club? I would have thought so. I mean, there hasn't been any kind of report that's come out of Man United officially that any of the players signed under Ollie's tenure have been players that Ollie didn't want. Has he always got his number one first choice? No, he hasn't. In his first summer, he wanted Grealish as an example, but it wasn't attainable at the time. But he's had players that he's felt fit the profile. A lot of work, some haven't. This is normal. The likes of Kieran Trippier and Raphael Varane are very, very interesting because they were not on Manchester United's transfer list leading up to the summer. But they do fit the profile. They do have the experience. They do have the winning mentality. They do have the ability and the personality of which Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Manchester United want. These two have just presented themselves as opportunities, and Man United have struck while the iron is hot. Clearly, these two players are seen as better options than players on the transfer list, or the expected players that people thought were going to be coming into the football club. Let's go to a few more of these comments that are coming through here as well. It depends on what I'm offered for the low compared to what I'd spend on Trippier. Yeah, look, I think you've got to understand. I think Trippier is going to fight for a first-team place, but is also kind of happy to be back up to a degree. I think when you look at a young man like the low, I think he's all about wanting to be a first-teamer, lead that area, develop himself as a young player. And I think Man United need to get the balance right. And this is something that I've seen a lot from people recently, is this, Ollie doesn't develop youth. Realistically, how many in the situation United are in, how many players realistically can you develop as young, fresh, up-and-coming players at the same time? Anyone under the age of 23 that needs develop, they all need development. How many can Man United legitimately develop at the same time? If we stick with Henderson, that's one. You've got AWB that's learning, as an example. You've got Greenwood that's learning. You've got Ahmad that's learning. You've still got Sancho that's going to fit into that category. That's five. I start to look at the Martials and Rashfords, and I'm putting them out of that youngster category now, and I'm starting to say these are experienced individuals. We need to start judging them as experienced individuals. You've got Garner that may go out on loan. You've got Williams that's going to be put out. That's five players there. And I'm probably missing a player or two as well, if I'm being absolutely honest. So the question then comes out around how many. If you start throwing in CAMAVINGAs, if you start throwing in two or three more academy players at the same time, you throw in a Delo, who I still think is inexperienced, who I don't think has had enough game time in the last 2 or 3 years to be that finished article. It's too hard. And where else are we putting that kind of pressure on managers? Just ask yourself that question. Where else are we saying, listen, it's great that you're winning the league at a Canter Conte. It's great that you won the league at a Canter last year, Pep Guardiola. But where are the 5, 6, 7 young players within your team that you're developing? I don't know if that exists. I don't know if that exists, and we don't put the pressure on them to do it. So why should the same pressure be put upon Ollie? Yeah, 22 Delo. I just wanted to double check. I knew he was still quite young, 22 years of age. He's only played 99 games in his whole career. 33 of them came last season at Milan. So 1/3 of his overall appearances in his whole life came last season. He only made 35 appearances for Manchester United in the 3 years that he was here. Maybe that's Ollie's fault. Maybe it's Jose's fault. Maybe it's the club's fault. I'm not having a pop at his ability, but there's too many players in the Man United squad that need developing for us to look at another. There's no doubt about it. I think we've got some breaking news here as well that we're going to jump into. I think it's finally been announced. I want to go and check this out to see if it's true. Breaking news: Arsenal have come to an agreement in principle to sign England centre-back Ben White from Brighton. The deal for the 23-year-old is subject to a medical and will take some time to complete. Brighton always wanted a guarantee of 50 million. First response. There we go. So that looks like the Ben White deal is now done and over the line. I'll be honest with you. Look, I'm not saying I'm not enthused by it. We kind of knew this deal was coming. We've known this deal was coming for a long time. It's been a dot on the cards to get over that line and be completed. It's something we reported on last week. It was formalities. I think we even said, I'll find the tweet somewhere, that the deal was going to be completed around about this time, but by sort of this stage of the week. But I said this for a while now about Ben White. I think Ben White is a tremendous signing for Arsenal Football Club. There is no doubt about it. The Ben White, I think he improves the back line. I just think he's a little bit disrespected purely because of the passport that he holds. If he wasn't, and I stand by that. I don't care if it offends anybody. It's not meant to offend anybody. I just think it's the truth. I think people go, nah, he just, oh God, I'm unenthused. I'm unenthused about it. Why? Because he's called Ben White. Nobody really had heard of Jorginho last year, but suddenly everybody was, oh yeah, he could be great for us. And he, not Jorginho, sorry, Gabriel. And I'm like, you don't need, do you know what I mean? There's some talent. He's a talented player as well. By the way, Gabriel, I think is a tremendous talent as well. But there we go. That's a conversation for another day. Arsenal fans, how do you think and feel about that? You can phone in and you can have your say on the terrace this evening. We want to hear from you in relation to the Ben White news that has just come through, that has just been broke, that is just being discussed now across social media. Everyone's going to, of course, be buzzing about that news, I'm sure. Well, especially if you are a Gooner. Especially if you're a Gooner, people are going to be buzzing about that one. I think some aren't happy, but there we go. Let's go to a few more of the comments that are coming through. Gabriel is trash. No, I don't think Gabriel is trash, man. I think Gabriel's a good player, bro. I think Gabriel's a good football player. Ben White is better than Holding. He is better than Holding. Absolutely. Cast iron. Fact. He's better than Holding. I agree. People like to mock it too easy. It's fashionable. He's decent. You've got to remember, and this is where football fans let themselves down, right? All I was told, we've been told for a long time now, Jurgen Klopp's elite. Jurgen Klopp was scouting and tracking this guy for many, many months. Just couldn't get the deal done last year, money-wise. You got Bielsa that was desperate for him. Bielsa and Klopp are like looked at as two absolute superstars of modern day football in terms of their style, their kind of cultured modern day beautiful football they play. They both wanted Ben White. So why suddenly should I think Ben White's rubbish? Because a few people I've never heard of don't rate him. For me, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Like you have to start looking at who wants to sign players. I've had a lot of people in the past slag off I can't remember his name now. Marcus Rashford. And it's like, yeah, you do realize like Barcelona wanted to sign him. Oh, that's nonsense. That's nonsense. And then how they then justify it is by talking about one or two flop players that Barcelona have signed in their history. And that logic just makes no sense. Absolutely no sense whatsoever. Also, many other piece of news tonight we really wanted to delve into. According to The Athletic, went through the article earlier on today. The reports are from Sam Lee at The Athletic that sources around Manchester City believe that personal terms have been agreed with the Aston Villa captain Jack Grealish in him making a move and switching his allegiances from claret and blue to sky blue this summer. this will be one of those deals for me. It's a watershed deal. It's a legacy deal that if it happens, if it goes through, I think it changes the course. Forget of City's next 5 years and Grealish's next 5 years. I think it changes the course of this summer transfer window. I think it triggers more teams into action because the quality of this player, the ability of this player is absolutely tremendous. Now, there are some contradictory reports on this. There are some reports out there that are claiming that the deal isn't done, the personal terms are not done. In fact, he may be closer to 1 second here. Update my title. Sorry, people. I'm just updating a few things here in my title so that I can get this up and done properly for you. Bear with me a second. There we go. Hang on a minute. There we go. Yeah, there are some claims that he is going to agree a new deal with Aston Villa. I don't see him doing that personally. I do think that his head's been turned. I do think that he would like to leave. I just believe those things. So let's see what happens with that space moving forward. If you want to phone in and have your say about these deals, let me know. Aaron LFC says, Jack is a top talent. Would take him any day of the week and twice on Sunday. Of course you would. Like 110% you would. Why would you not? Just say it like out loud. Say it to yourself. Why would you not take him? There's barely a single player in world football that holds more ability than him. Legitimately, where are the players that are better than him? Where are the players with more ability than him? They don't exist. They don't exist that are attainable. That are attainable and gettable. You always got to think about that. Attainable and gettable. They just don't exist. They just legitimately 110% do not exist in an attainable sense. So from my point of view, I've said it before, and I say these things again and again and again and again and again. These types of players, I look at them as almost they're legacy type players. They can be turned now into legends and heroes of football clubs. That's the kind of ability this man possesses. I'm actually annoyed that they're gonna pull this off. I really am. Man like Sasko here says apparently Tuchel likes what he's seen from some of our young players coming back and wants to give them a chance. I don't think fans are happy. I don't know, man. I feel like Chelsea. I'll be blunt with you. I feel like Chelsea fans are. I don't even want to sound disrespectful here, right? I just think Chelsea fans need to relax a little bit. I've legitimately never in my life seen a situation like this. I legitimately haven't ever seen a situation like this from football fans before, where they're European champions. They've got this amazing squad. 1 second, people. I've got to tweet this out. I wish I had people working for me, but I don't. I legitimately look at this situation and just think to myself, what am I listening to? European champions, excellent team, excellent players. You're aiming for 1 or 2 superstars this summer. That's it. 1 or 2 superstars. That's all your squad needs. So I don't understand the hullabaloo. I don't understand the frustrations. I don't understand the anger. I don't understand any of it. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. Just none. No sense. No sense at all. Legitimately. Just, I find the whole thing, I don't even know if the right word is disconcerting. I just find the whole thing crazy. Just find the whole thing crazy. I really, really do. But that's my thoughts. That's my feelings anyway. Right, let's go to some more of your comments here. Maria Williams in the house says Chelsea fans are basically the little girls throwing their tantrum meme. Oh, a lot on the floor. I hear you on that. The Athletic Kits reported that Ben White is basically a done deal. In fairness, I told you all that it was a done deal on the 12th. Just go check out my Twitter on the 12th. There's nothing that's come out about this Ben White deal that's shocking or new to me. I'll be blunt with you. There really isn't. Like, this is nothing that I wasn't expecting. This wasn't anything that I didn't know was coming. The Ben White deal has always been done. I keep hearing Man United fans moan that we haven't seen the that we haven't seen the situation with why haven't we seen the Sancho release yet? Don't worry about it. I'm more worried about the deals we're working on because it's in the bag. Like Sancho's gone on holiday, so it's all done. It's going to come out when it comes out. There's no doubt about it. Franklin here says Terry reported the Ben White deal. He was ahead of the curve as always. Listen, I'm not going to get any plaudits for it. I wasn't the journalist that gave me that information. It's a man like Dean, a man like Peter O'Rourke, but of course they're part of the Football Terrace family now. So they were part and parcel of that. In fairness, we told everyone just a few short weeks ago, you know, that those deals were all over the line. Those deals were all going to be done. They are now done. They're motoring forward. It's all good. That's it, really. There's not too much more to say to it other than that. You know, I think it was on the 29th of June we put out, you know, Locatelli was imminent. Tavares was close. Ben White in the bag. All those deals have come off. You know, I wouldn't lie about these things. Never, ever. Right, we're going to go to some calls here. For you guys to come on and have your say. Smash that like button and please hit the share button as well. Very, very important to the Football Terrace that you get that done. First caller of the night, we're going to go to Mike. Mike Hill, welcome back to the Terrace. You just support Mike?
United, mate.
Lovely. Give me your thoughts on the whatever news you want, but Kieran Trippier, Ben White to Arsenal. Give me your thoughts, mate.
Yeah, I just wanted to call in about the Varane thing, you know, because we've had our bridges burnt so many times in the past. I'm old enough to remember the Schneider thing, you know, where it was all, you know, reported for months, and we all got let down, and then we've had other ones since, and obviously Sancho last year. So I was just wondering what your thoughts are on how United could possibly mess this up and let us all down again, or do you think it's in the bag?
Honest to God, I feel like it's Man United can't mess this up in the sense of if it goes wrong from this point, that it isn't because of Manchester United. Do you get what I mean? That it won't be. It can only go wrong now if the player at the 11th hour changes his mind, which will be gutting to us as Man United fans. Of course it will. However, it isn't something that we can mess up. We can't damage this as a football club. That's just impossible, really, because the player has said that he wants to join. Formalities are being drawn up in terms of personal terms. Man United and Real Madrid are in conversations. Everything is pretty much where it needs to be. United are just waiting for the player to make his final decision. So they've been told by his reps he wants to join you. He's definitely leaving Real Madrid 110%. He just needs to make that formal with Real Madrid. So he returns from holiday, I believe, in the next 3 to 4 days, and he doesn't want to go back to Madrid. He wants to fly straight to the UK, complete a medical or whatever he has to do with COVID restrictions, but he wants to fly to where he needs to fly to complete his medical. Where Man United potentially could mess this up, where they could maybe, is if he's made to go back to Real Madrid. So if Man United don't act quickly and the situation protrudes and starts to drag on, that frustration could creep in. That could impact Man United. But as it stands right now, it's in a very good situation indeed. Everybody that I spoke to, 3 or 4 journalists personally, I spoke to a couple of agents that I know very well. And interestingly, the agent I spoke to today said, you know, Man United fans wanting and sharing him so much love across social media has been a key factor in Raphael Varane wanting to join. He's just never felt loved at Real Madrid. He's won 4 Champions Leagues and he feels like he's treated like he was a bit part. And he said he's had more love from Man United fans in the past 2 weeks than he's felt from Real Madrid fans in many, many years. And that is important to football players. So I would say the United fans right now, legitimately, I would be so relaxed about it. I would be focusing on other deals. That would be my advice, Mike. Listen, appreciate that call. Top man. Thank you very much for coming on. Arsenal fans that are tuning in, you have signed Ben White. Ben White is an Arsenal player. He is an Arsenal player. Done deal, over the line. It's complete. Formalities now need to happen. Legal teams need to review everything, but the clubs have agreed on the price, so it is a done deal. That part is done. Personal terms are no issues. He turned down Everton for you. Chelsea even made a very loose inquiry and just decided that it was too far down the line with Arsenal to not get involved. You've beaten away some competition for this Arsenal. You've signed a brilliant talent, a big up-and-coming player. I want you to phone up and have your say. The link is in the description below. And that's going to inspire. It's going to inspire now my... How are we only on 246 likes? What's going on, people? Smash that like button right now. Let's get this past the 500 like mark. Silencius says, any legs in the Awar to Spurs story? Yes, but it really depends on who else comes in for him. What I thought was very, very interesting is, how do I say this? Arsenal have almost publicly and sort of distanced themselves from this deal now since Liverpool and Man United got involved. If Liverpool and Man United showed genuine interest in Awar, Spurs haven't got a cat's chance in hell. Legitimately, not a cat's chance in hell. I think there's more chance of you seeing me walk down the aisle with Maya Jama in 12 months' time than Spurs beating Man United or Liverpool to Awar. If Man United and Liverpool or no other Champions League ready team go in for him, then maybe. I think there's genuine interest. I just can't see it going through. Legit, can't see it going through. Can't see it going through at all. Wait, Varane's been feeling the love from United fans that much. Wow. Then welcome to the Prem, mate. Legitimately, like, this wasn't something someone tweeted. This was, and you'll all see who I'm talking to in over the next few months on the Football Terrace. But this was a chat with one of the most bona fide agents in the game. He just said, look, I've been talking to people, and this is what he said. And I said, you know how many times I've said on the Football Terrace that players care about these things? They care about legacy. They care about who shows them. Like, sometimes people say things like, why would someone pick A over B? B is so much better. How much love did they show? How much time, care, and attention did they put into the deal? One of the reasons why Everton, and even to a degree, like Chelsea weren't rejected. Chelsea kind of looked at Ben White and realized that he had his heart set on Arsenal. The reason they didn't go in too hard was they weren't looking at him to be one of their main centre-backs. They've got 2 or 3 other priorities in front, but they could also see the desire this player had to join Arsenal. And a big part of that was the way Arsenal have courted him, the way Arsenal have pursued him, the way Arsenal have made him feel wanted. This type of stuff is so important in football. And I think, but if fans start to realize this, transfers will make more sense. Remember, we are taking calls tonight. Ben White is now an Arsenal player. Kieran Trippier is closing in on Manchester United, according to reports. And Jack Grealish has agreed personal terms with Manchester City. I want your views. I want your feelings. I want to know what's going on with this. And remember, we did tell you just 3 or 4 days ago that the announcement for Ben White was imminent and on its way. Got a little bit of stick for it at the time, but there we go. There we go. We're going to go to another caller here. We're going to go to Amin on the show next. Amin, welcome back to the terrace, mate. What do you want to say?
Hi, Terry. First, I want to just say congrats on 200K, big achievement for you. Just as I carry on what you're doing, you're doing really, really good for yourself.
Cheers. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you.
And I just wanted to talk about, as an Arsenal fan, I'm so worried about what is going on with the club. We have around 4 and a bit weeks till the Premier League starts, right? Okay, and we signed the Ben White, like I just saw you announce it, right? I'm happy to take him. With Saliba leaving, I think we probably did need a centre back because, like, looking at our centre back options, they're not even that good. Like, I would just say Gabriel and Holding and Mari, not good enough. But then I'm looking at the other positions, right? For example, this Hosomawa deal, it literally sums up everything wrong with Arsenal. We had a free run to this Hosomawa guy. We had a free run to him this summer, okay? Because he did have a great summer. Season last year, so we had a free run. Everyone knew his value. His value was between 25 million euros to 30 million euros. Also had a free run, and we go bid around 20 million euros. And why would you do that when you have a free run? And where is this supposed war chest we have? And another one with the Locatelli thing. For me, I don't see any point of pursuing this because I think I can't even pronounce his team. That team's name, the one he's playing for. I feel like they're just using Arsenal as a way of like just taking more money from Juventus, and eventually, I'm confident that Juventus will just end up paying. And now you put all your eggs in one basket, chasing Locatelli, you would have probably wasted 2 weeks. And now, who are you going to go sign now? It's so depressing being an Arsenal fan, right? And you go see stuff on social media. You go see Edu on a holiday with a former Arsenal CEO in Raul, who literally, I don't know if you know this, he's the reason why Pepe cost £72 million. He was one of the reasons why. And it's just like, it's not fun being an Arsenal fan, right? And, it's very worrying. It's like another season we're failing to prepare.
I do understand. I do understand the frustration. I do understand the worry. I do understand the concern. The Locatelli bit, I think is fine. You're chancing your arm at trying to sign him. You're looking at Basuma. You're looking at Ruben Neves. These deals are coming in. Ben White, excellent signing. The Awar deal, listen, I think you're distancing yourself from that because some bigger clubs in terms of where they are right now have come in for him, and you don't want to be embarrassed by that. The reason you put this cheeky bid in for Locatelli is I can never pronounce the name of their team. It's Sassuolo. They have rejected what you have said, and basically Arsenal's bid is being seen as the benchmark. Now, what we don't know is how serious Arsenal's bid is. Remember, this could be being used by Sassuolo to turn around and say, we've accepted a £40 million bid. You might have just put an inquiry in, or an informal inquiry, like a formal inquiry. It might not be anything overtly serious, and Arsenal's name is being used a bit here. In terms of this war chest, Ben White, Tavares, and Lokonga, they are all you're getting close to £100 million having been spent there on those players. You will spend up to 150 million without selling anybody. It could stretch as far as 200 million. There's 3 or 4 more signings to come. Are you going to drop 70-80 million pound on one player? Probably not. But money is going to be spent. There is legitimately no doubt about that whatsoever. You are going to spend money, my friend. You are going to spend money, my friend. But I do get your frustration and your concern. Thanks very much for coming on, mate, and having your say. Appreciate that, Amy. Top man. Thank you. Next on the show, we're going to go to KSE Out. Marble Halls TV's with us now. Ben White is an Arsenal player. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, hi there. First, I want to congratulate you for 200K. I've been listening to you for a number of years, so kudos for that.
Thank you.
Also about the Ben White thing. I think he has potential. Obviously, he must be doing something right to get in the England squad for the Euros, even though he obviously did feature. But I think it's a good signing. You know, when I first heard of the deal, I thought, all right, cool. You know, we probably do need a strengthening a bit in central defence, but the priorities were central midfield and maybe a backup left back. Well, actually, not maybe. We definitely needed a backup left back. We got that with Tavares, because Kieran for me is I won't say he's world class yet, but he can be. But he's unfortunately very injury prone. But we've got the left back sorted. We got in Lokonga. Xhaka's leaving. Possibly there's talk of Neves, and obviously we put in a bid for Locatelli. So maybe for once we're going to have actually a decent window. That does not ameliorate what KSC have done over the years. I think a lot of this thing is just PR, just to keep the fans happy, and not just because of the Super League stuff. Well, obviously that affected United and all the other big six too. But I don't know. But I think for once, I do generally think we'll have a good window and put ourselves in the best stead possible to get back in. I was going to say get back in the top 4. I think that's a bit unlikely for the coming season, but if we can get, say, 5th, 6th, maybe win a domestic cup, I think that's probably the best that we can do. Also,
and why not? And legitimately, why not? You know, I think you've done tremendously good business so far. I don't think that can be denied, debunked, or put down by anybody. You legitimately have done good business. You legitimately have done good business. There is absolutely no shadow of a doubt in my mind that so far you've signed some very talented, very hungry young players. Ben White is now, he's one of your key targets that's coming in. You will sign a midfielder. If you can find a buyer for Lacazette, you're going to buy a striker. The likes of Tammy Abraham, the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin have all been linked with moves to you. Yes, there are some ambitious players that you've inquired about. You've inquired about Locatelli. You've inquired about Raheem Sterling. You've inquired about Mahrez. You've inquired about James Maddison. These are legitimate things you've done. And why should you not do that? Like you have to try and sign those players. You are going to make, in my opinion, a minimum 5, maybe even 6 first team signings this summer. Some of them are young and they're going to take time to develop. But I think if I was an Arsenal fan, I'd be very, very encouraged by the profile, the talent, and the types of individuals that you're going after, mate. I really would. Listen, brother, thank you for your support.
Can I just say something?
My friend. I know you've been around for many, many years watching us. Top man. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Aaron here with a super chat says, if City sign Grealish, I don't think they will sign Harry Kane as well. This might mean Harry Kane stays, but I think it triggers Chelsea to act on Haaland if City get Grealish in a timely manner. I agree with you on that wholeheartedly. I completely agree with you on that. 100%. 110%. You are right. Keep your super chats coming in, please, ladies and gentlemen. Keep them coming in. And I know I promised this for the last few days and I haven't got round to it. I cannot tell you how busy I've been, especially with my son being over for the first time in a year. I will be revealing the June winner tomorrow on the terrace. I've got all the names down there. I've pretty much written them down on paper, teared them up. We're going to do a live draw on the air to win the football shirt. And everyone who tweeted in June a super chat over the value of £5. We only announced that halfway through the month, so I have to go back through the whole month. And there's a lot of very generous Football Terrace members and viewers. I'm doing the same as everyone who signed up to membership as well. So we will be doing that. And everyone who's done it in July, we're doing a competition at the end of July. But I'll be more organized this month and we'll get it done within a few days to honor all of you in relation to that. Next caller on the show, I'm going to go to Matt. Matt's on the terrace now to have his say.
Hey,
hello, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I've seen the links for Varane to Tottenham. How do you feel about that? Afternoon, I must admit. But yeah, I'm confident about Varane. I mean, if he's happy with the fans at the moment, the reception he's getting from United fans, then that can only be good news. The Trippier, is that true about the 80 million bid? Do we know that yet?
Well, it's again, I spoke to sort of my journalist today and had a chat with them, and they kind of said they've read the same reports. Their contacts have said that there's been no official bid from Man United, but that's normal. Man United, the new approach appears very much, we do not bid. We do not bid until we know this deal is 100% ready to go. So the bid will come in and it will be accepted because it will be the bid that gets us accepted. Does that make sense? So it's, again, the Trippier deal suddenly looks very, very promising indeed. Not 100% done, but very, very promising indeed.
Any news on centre mids or CDMs?
Nothing new there, but if we can get these two deals closed out quickly, it gives us the rest of the window to work on that area, because that will be the area. We have spoke to Ruben Neves.
Yeah.
We have, the Awar thing, that's literally if Paul Pogba leaves, but that's the problem that United have got. They need to sort out Paul Pogba before they look at anything else. That's going to be key for them, is Paul Pogba. Another priority is getting Bruno Fernandes's deal done. They want to keep him as happy as possible as our best player in the squad. So they want to make sure they get that done. So it's all looking very, very positive right now, Matt.
Awesome. Yeah. Like I say, I'm looking forward to the Jadon Sancho review in 2 weeks' time. However long it takes, I'm not worried. I mean, I can't wait for the season. Hopefully get Varane through. Hopefully next week or by the end of July. I'm saying by the end of July. Realistically, then focus on the midfield in August, and we should be ready to go for the Premier League.
110%, mate. 110%. Thank you very much indeed for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really do appreciate that. Ben White announced as an Arsenal player. The official announcement is going to come very, very soon, but a done deal has been met between the two clubs. Personal terms are done. They are agreed. They're not going to be an issue. Formalities are now being done. The deal is closer. It's very, very close to being announced as a completed deal. Arsenal fans, how are you feeling about this right now? Nabil here says, did you see DT's tweet? I've already reached out to DT. I've already sent DT a message today. I haven't heard back from him yet. I'm sure he's just taking a little bit of time with his family. But if you are watching, D, listen, you ever need to speak, reach out, give me a call. You got my number. It's calm. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I've reached out to DT. I saw that actually on my way home. Thank you. A comment here from Paul says, this is what will happen. We will have a good run of games and Arsenal fans will get gassed up like he's Gerard Piqué. Gullible fan base. Look at Willian in the FA Cup. Gassed him up nicely after. Listen, I do get that, Paul. I do feel like this deal is different from Willian, though. This is a very young and very, very talented player that a lot of clubs have been after. A lot of clubs have been looking at. A lot of clubs wanted as well. So we'll see how it works out. We'll see how it works out. But I think it's I think it's good. I know, man, like Johnny's in here. Johnny Blue's in the house. I've enjoyed listening to a few Twitter hangouts or spaces this week where it's been Johnny versus Johnny. Johnny of Chelsea versus Johnny of Man United. Legitimately, I feel like I should give them all a show. I should make a show just for them two, just to sit there and talk to each other. Comment here. Man like Fabrizio has tweeted. Man like Fabrizio here has tweeted, and he has said, Arsenal working to announce both Sambi Lokonga and Ben White signings in the next days. Lokonga already done as paperwork signed. Ben White will complete the process in the next days. Both deals are almost done. That's his wording on it. Like I've already said, they're Arsenal players. Now is formalities. These are the elements you don't need to worry about. It also says here, Everton have never made an official bid for White. They didn't have, again, PR. They didn't make an official bid because they were told by Ben White's people there is no way he was signing. Interestingly, Fabrizio has also tweeted here that after another day of negotiation, there is still no final agreement between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid for Griezmann Sal swap deals. Talks ongoing, but no agreement yet. Just like I told you earlier on this afternoon. He also says Sal also has received bids from Premier League clubs and Atleti are prepared to sell him. Exactly like I told you. Manchester United, Liverpool Football Club, and Atletico have an agreement in principle. They know how much it would cost to get done. What's holding up the deal from a Liverpool point of view? One, Barca or a more preferred destination for Sal Niguez, but Liverpool haven't offered the same volume of money that Barcelona are prepared to make. Fabrizio Romano, they're legitimately, not word for word confirming what I said. He hasn't gone, yeah, Terry's telling the truth. But as I told people earlier on, a lot of us jumped the gun a little bit. A lot of us jumped the gun a bit earlier on in the week. I certainly did with the whole done deal to Barcelona. It wasn't as far down the line as people made out. Still a high chance that he joins Barcelona and nobody else. But as I told you all earlier on the football terrace, Liverpool's pursuit of Sal Niguez isn't dead in the water yet. But Liverpool need to sell before they can buy him, at the very least. Barca are working hard to get that deal to a completed stage sooner, a done deal stage and a completed stage sooner rather than later. So Liverpool are running out of time when it comes to signing him. But as I say, I did tell you all that earlier on today, and I'm sure no one's going to give me any credit for it. But there we go. There we go. Next on the show, we're going to go to Ziad. Ziad's a Chelsea fan in the house. What you saying, buddy?
Afternoon, Terry. Just first of all, I want to congratulate you on 200k. I've been a
Thank you,
frequent
mate.
caller and viewer in recent time, and I just wish you all the best for the future, and hopefully this channel can grow even more and more in the future. On Jack Grealish, if he's actually agreed terms with Man City, I'm a bit just a bit salty about it, really, because personally, he's my alternative for Chelsea. If we can't sign a world-class striker, I think he would be quality to play up front with the attackers we have, and maybe would force Havertz a bit more up front. But yeah, hopefully Chelsea can get a world-class striker in the bag. Talks there's a lot of more existing talk about Haaland, but nothing really new. Lukaku doesn't really look like he's coming somehow. I'm really not sure what's going on with him. But yeah, and with Bissaka and Trippier, I just find it interesting. Do you think Trippier is, I wouldn't say good enough, but do you think he would necessarily force Bissaka out of the team to be a starter, to be a number one? Or do you think it's more of he's a backup, he's a good alternative for right back and left back, He's got the experience, and it's always good to have healthy competition for a young Ram back in Ramsaka.
I think he's perfect for Manchester United because he could push AWB to be better. He can cover if there's injuries. He's also got the ability to be able to play multiple positions. I think Kieran Trippier is going to make AWB a better player, not only by helping to teach him, but by pushing him to that next level. AWB has no competition. And although I don't really feel like he's dropped many bad performances in a Man United shirt, I think he's an excellent fullback. Kieran Trippier for the next 2 or 3 years will just give us something different, more creative, more forward thinking, better on the ball as well. So from my point of view, better on the ball from an attacking point of view, I mean. Defensively, I actually still think AWB is better. But what he'll learn from Trippier is more about positioning and experience and reading the game. So, yeah, listen, Ziad, I think it's a tremendous piece of business. I appreciate you phoning up and having your say. I really appreciate that, mate. Top man indeed. Thank you, Ziad. We have a super chat that's come through here from Pav that says you don't be credited. You got family. What's that saying? You don't read credit when you've got family. Okay, sorry. I hear you. I don't know who. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I'm so old. I don't know who is this dude. Who is Dominic? I'm gonna have to Google who this guy is now, and then maybe when I see his face, I'll get it. You know what it is? Maybe once I see the face, then I'll be like, oh, okay, here he is. Toretto, who is he? Oh, is that a Fast and Furious thing? Yeah, bro, I don't watch that. I watched the first one, and then I never watched it again. I was like, the police had just put sting traps out. Didn't get it. But cool. I appreciate the comment. I'm so old, man. I'm so old, bro. I don't watch that. I don't watch it. I'm sorry if I've let the side down, but yeah, it's not my thing. It's not my thing. It's just not something I bought into. Not something I bought into at all. But there we go. There we go. Right, next on the show, I'm going to go to Steph the Gooner. Steph the Gooner is coming on now. Ben White's an Arsenal player. Give me your thoughts and feelings.
Well, I think he's a quality player. You know, throughout the Brighton last season, he showed like he has a lot of potential. But I'd rather that 50 million have gone to positions that are priorities for Arsenal. Like we could have bought Basuma, another Brighton player, for 40 million, and I think he would have slotted with Partey a lot better. And also, we already bought a 30 million pound centre back in Saliba. We didn't even get a chance. So I don't understand why we didn't give him a chance. It does Arsenal just baffle me a bit. But I do like Lokonga. I think he has a lot of potential. And I just want to say congratulations on 200k. It's a big achievement.
Yeah, listen, I appreciate that, mate. That means a great deal to me. It does. Thank you very much for that. And you know, onwards and upwards now for the football terrace. And look, I think from the Saliba thing, you know, what I find really interesting about every report, every major journalist that shared the Saliba loan move. Did you notice one thing? They almost like put it in capital letters in their tweets. Did you see it?
Yeah.
About there's no option to buy. That for me is the red flag.
Maybe it's like a long-term thing.
Yeah, well, I just feel like that for me is the red flag that says he's not got a future at Arsenal, especially under Mikel Arteta. But Arsenal don't want to send the message out yet that he's not wanted, because they do that too early. They won't be able to get as much money for him in the market. That's my view anyway. There was too much of a what's the Shakespeare saying? One doth protest too much, methinks. That it just felt a bit too. Why was everybody so keen to pump that little bit of news out? It just felt a little bit forced, in my opinion. Brother, I appreciate the call. Congrats on Ben White. I think it's a congratulatory moment. Top man. Thank you very much indeed. Make sure you've hit that like button, people. Let's get this past 1,000 likes in the house, please. Let's get that done right about now. Next up on the show, we're going to go to Jaden. Jaden's coming on to have his say. Not Jaden Sancho. Spelled a different way as well. Jaden's here. Who do you support, mate?
I support Manchester City, pal.
Lovely. What's your thoughts on the Jack Grealish news today?
I don't want Jack Grealish out of my club. I don't want Jack Grealish out of my club. I want Jaden Braff to start for Manchester City, okay, pal? Thanks. Good night.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. That's not a bad troll. Do you know, I give him credit on his trolling there because he didn't crack up and laugh. You've always got to credit someone who stays in that character the whole time. So there we go. Terry, it's a Friday. Where's my drink? Do you know what? I had a few bevies last night, so I'm not drinking tonight. Just but got to be up early with the kids in the morning. Archie flies home to Ireland tomorrow as well, so I've got lots to do in the morning. Gonna have a bit of a swim in the garden. So yeah, I want to be nice and fresh and good for that. Next on the show, we're going to go to man like Leaf. Leaf, do you want to do me a favor though? It's been bugging me. Your camera, move it down because at the moment I can see you're like a floating head. Like there, yeah, we want to see some shoulder and some chest, brother. There we go. That is better, Leaf. Welcome back. What do you want to say, buddy?
Yeah, many transfers updates on Trippier. I just wanted to say every time I hear his name, I'm laughing because Trippier, he was so average at Tottenham, and then he goes to La Liga, and then he becomes the best right back in the league. I think it just shows the difference between the Premier League and La Liga. There's a huge difference when you have a right back that was so average for Tottenham, and then he goes to La Liga and he tears all the defenders and he becomes the best right back. It's a good deal for United. Obviously, he's really good at crossing, so that's good. On Awar, Alistair Gold confirmed today that there's nothing concrete between Tottenham. It's just scouting. So I don't know. It's definitely not their priority. The defense is their priority right now.
Do you know what? Like, I listen to Alistair Gold, top guy, very well informed. I have, when club specific tier 1 journalists are negative about transfers, that tells me, I just get the feeling you're trying to look at it and do it. I don't think Tottenham or Arsenal want to go public about their pursuit of Awar with the likes of Man United, with the likes of Liverpool circulating, because everybody now is so desperate to not look like they've had a fouled bid. I wouldn't be surprised if the news continues to pick up, and it may have already happened and I've missed it. I wouldn't be surprised if the news about this Locatelli bid keeps circulating, that you see a respected Arsenal journalist say no official bid has been made, because they want to play it down. And this is just the same pattern everywhere. As soon as a bid isn't accepted, almost instantly you see a tier 1 go, oh, but no official bid was actually made. Or there's no official links, there's no close links, there's no concrete links. It's all the same. And I'm not having a pop at any of them. I know why they're doing it. They're protecting the club that they care about. And I think that's what's really interesting with the foreign press. Like, no foreign press cares about Spurs. Why would they? Do you know what I mean? But if you're a Spurs fan born and bred, you're one of their main journalists, you're going to protect them. And listen, I'd protect Man United as best. If it wasn't for the Glazers, I'd protect Man United to the hilt, but I can't. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think Locatelli will go to Arsenal. I think people saying that it won't happen and why would he go? No, like it's a good deal for him. It's a step up. He's playing in the Premier League next to Partey, who's great. And the thing is, Arsenal have, like Romano confirmed it. Arsenal, the bid is there, 40 million, and Locatelli is just waiting for Juve to match that bid. If Juve don't match it, then Arsenal will get him. And I don't think Juve are capable of fighting with Arsenal. Arsenal just, it's so weird because Tottenham they're so rich. We have Joe Lewis, who's a billionaire, and we have European football, and Arsenal are spending so much more than us. Daniel Levy, seriously, spend.
I get that, but if you're not spending, again, I was talking to a Spurs journalist the other day who just said, even more so than Liverpool, you've got to sell before you buy. The irony is you've got this huge asset who wants to leave that could raise you 120, 130 million pounds, and the club's refusing to do it. And the gamble here from Tottenham is thus: if you decide to not sell Harry Kane, if that's what you decide to do, that to me is fair enough. That's your choice. That's down to you. That's up to you as a football club. But if you choose not to do it, and for the next couple of years you don't make the Champions League, you're in absolute shit, because you won't have generated the extra money.
Exactly.
You've gone backwards as a football team. Your new stadium and everything else that was meant to go with it. At the same time, Harry Kane won't be worth 20, 30 million by then because of his age and because of how long he's left on his contract. And then how are you going to replace, even though you haven't maybe achieved what you wanted to, how are you going to replace those goals? Because to replace Harry Kane's goals costs 150 to 200 million pounds in the market. It's such a dangerous gamble. If I was a Spurs fan, I'd want them to sell Kane, develop some more youth, buy 3 or 4 top quality stars to improve this team, and actually give Nuno something fresh to work with.
That is the plan.
It's looking like a problem right now. Leaf, I appreciate you coming on, mate, and having your say. Really, really do. Top man as ever. Thank you, buddy. Make sure that like button's been hit. We've just gone past 500 like Arsenal fans that are tuning in. Ben White is your player. We want to hear from you. The link to phone in is in the is tagged. It's tagged in the live comment section. Get yourselves on. Get yourselves on right about now, people. Next on the show, I'm going to go to Pav. Pav's here with us. What you saying, mate?
I'm good, man. I don't think you'll ever understand that reference to that super chat that we watched. Faster through, so yeah, don't worry about it. It's just
bro, I can barely. I don't know what you just did there, but you walked away.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, go on.
Hello.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah. I was just saying you probably won't understand that reference unless you actually watch the films. But yeah, Arsenal, they're taking a lot of risks, aren't they? Barring Ben White, I haven't really heard nothing ever about the other 2 players. It looks like they're trying to build a squad for a few years' time to maybe compete for something, but Arsenal fans are going to have to be patient because if these players don't work out that they're buying, then I don't know what's next for their club because like I said, they're taking a lot of risks. With Ben White, I think he'll become a good player, but I also think in 2-3 years' time, someone like Man City will come and poach him. I don't think he's going to be there long term. I think he's just there as using Arsenal as a stepping stone to maybe push for a bigger club after that. But yeah, I'm kind of still shocked how Arsenal kind of moving in this window. They're not really buying any established players. They're just looking for something that Arteta can mould these players into. But yeah, I with Arsenal, I don't think they're going to be competing for anything this season. I think looking at it doesn't really mean much, but looking at some of them players, I saw some of the highlights through that Hibernian game. You got players there, William looking like Eden as a 2.0, putting on a bit of weight. Some of their players just don't look up to it, and they've all had breaks over this summer period. None of them have really been to the Euros. All been on holiday. I don't know. I don't know what your take is on it. What do you think? What do you think their season's going to look like?
Look, I think. Listen, the Hibernian thing. I laughed when everybody was winding them up when they were triggered because I just thought to myself, it was a practice game. It really didn't mean too much. They need to get some more signings in. There's no doubt, but I think the Lokongas and the Tavareses are going to shock a few people. I think they're much better than people are giving them credit for. I think Ben White improves their defensive line instantly. I think he's excellent. And I think they will sign 2 or 3 more quality players this summer. I really do. I think the type of work they're doing, the profile of player they're going after, Emil Smith-Rowe and Saka, a year older, Partey going into his 2nd season, hopefully with some better midfielders around him. I think they've got the makings of a decent side. Yes, they've got to get a right back in. So there's still some holes to fix in this team. Will they make it back into the top 4? Not in my opinion, as it stands right now. We have to wait to see what everybody else does in the market. But will they improve on last season? I think they will. I think they could generate easily an extra 10 to 12 points next season. And yes, on top of that, I think that Man United and Liverpool and Chelsea can all generate an extra 8 to 12 points each as well. So then I don't think they're going to close the gap, but I think they'll improve around the peers they've got. I think they'll finish in front of Spurs with the way things are looking as well. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. Pav, great call. And listen, thank you for all your support you've given the Terrace, mate. Top man. Thank you.
No worries, man.
Indeed. Speak to you soon, brother. Thank you. Man like RDF Tactics in the house. This is the wonderful gentleman who made the tactics video on what Arsenal fans can expect to see from Lokonga on the terrace. We've got more in the pipeline. I think we might have to get a Ben White one done. We've got Raphael Varane on the way. Go check out this gentleman's channel. Absolute talent, and knows so much about football from a technical standpoint as well. So go check that out now. RDF Tactics. Go and do that. Everyone who's tuning in, listen, there's nearly 2,000 people watching live right now on a Friday night having their say. Smash that like and that share button, people. If you want to phone up and give us your thoughts, Ben White is an Arsenal player. Formalities being completed now. Jack Grealish is reportedly, according to the Athletic, have agreed terms with Manchester City. And Kieran Trippier has been told by his representatives that they expect him to be a Manchester United player by the end of July. That's close to being a done deal between the two football clubs. Personal terms will not be an issue. Once that done deal is complete, it will advance. Personal terms will be signed up to, and it will move to the completed stage. Very, very promising deals here for Man City, Manchester United, and Arsenal Football Club. We're here. We're live. It's Friday night. I use RD Tactics on Football Manager all the time. See, I like that. I like to hear it. Next on the show, we're going to go to Marcelo Bielsa. Is the name of this individual, or Luke, as I can see his name being. Luke, welcome to the terrace. What do you want to say, mate? You're on mute, by the way.
What a signing Ben White is. I can't cuss how good he is. And I wish him all the best at Arsenal.
Okay, that's good. I mean, are you an Arsenal fan yourself?
No, mate, I'm a Leeds fan, but I'm so jealous of this signing, bro.
Listen, you take care, mate. All the best. Look after yourself. I had a feeling that was that same troll again. He changed his voice a little bit, but there we go. Let's have a look at some of your comments here. Pedro says, Trippier much better all-rounder than AWB. He should be. He's 30 years of age. He absolutely should be. A lot of people are laughing at Kieran Trippier. I don't think he's a bad signing for Manchester United Football Club in the slightest. Not in the slightest do I think it's a tremendous piece of business by Manchester United. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. Let's do some more of these comments more of these calls here. We're going to go to ML2. ML2 is going to be on the terrace now. Welcome. What team do you support, buddy?
Actually, I don't support a lot. I'm a Barca fan, but it's an external view to the Premier League. But in the Prem, I basically watch City at Leeds United. So
lovely. What have you found to talk about?
So basically, I'll just quickly go through Arsenal, City, basically, and United. I think as for City, if they get Jack Grealish, I think Chelsea need to, if they can't sign Haaland, they need to get at least a striker who can score 10 to 15 goals a season. Because if you see, then City have two of the best talents in English football as of now in Phil Foden and Jack Grealish. And they already have superstars in the team like KDB. So I think it's going to be tough for the rest of the teams next season. And as for Ben White, I think it's a good deal for Arsenal and Mikel Arteta, because if you see, leave along all the injuries aside to the older players in the Arsenal squad, but he's got the best out of the young players like Emil Smith-Rowe, Martinelli at some point, and then Saka. So I think it's a good signing.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is from Arsenal. And I think a lot of people are disrespecting Ben White massively. Listen, great call, mate. Thank you very much for coming onto the terrace and having your say top, man. Remember, we are the only fan channel that daily gives its viewers and its subscribers and, of course, our wonderful members the opportunity to phone up and have their say and discuss what's going on in the world of football. Super Chat here says, respect Trippier. And I agree with that. I think he gets so much disrespect. It's an absolute madness. I want to do some more of your comments here that are coming through. Breaking news, Sterling to Arsenal. Can you imagine if that was true? Love Terry's reaction when the guy said he's a Leeds fan. I'm all good. I didn't, Leeds are all right. Terry, how can Grealish impact a team that's already proven winners? By keeping them winning. That's the point of new signings. It's to keep them winning. It's to keep them on top. It's to keep them progressing. It's to keep other players on their toes. It's also to add a different dimension. So if you think about the left-hand side at City, it's been hugely dominated by Raheem Sterling in the past 4 to 5 years. there comes a point where you have to try something. What's going to be really intriguing this season for Liverpool Football Club is how do I say this in the right way? It's going to be looking at how they bounce back. Was it because Van Dijk and a few other players were out injured a lot, or have they gone stale? Have that front three of those attackers gone stale? If they have, then they're in a bit of shtuck. They're in a bit of trouble. A lot of people think they've gone stale because that front three's been together for such a long time. Does it need an injection of something new? Maybe Jota is that next year if he stays fit. So maybe they get that anyway. I think that what Jack Grealish does, he freshens up that front line. No matter how good a front line is, there comes a point where you have to refresh it. There comes a point where you have to inject some new blood. So that's how he does it, Twisted. That's how he does it. I love this guy. Arsenal should add Cody to their team. Oh, come on, you're taking the P now, my brother. You're taking the P now, my guy. More chance of... I nearly read that out, and I didn't. Rah. In what way has Arteta got the best out of Martinelli? My man is mad. Thank you, Alex, for your lovely comments here. That means a great deal to me. It does. It means a great deal to me on the terrace this evening. So thank you very, very much for those kind words. Thank you. I want to do a few more of these comments that are coming through here. What are we saying? CFC Matty says, big up to you, TR, on reaching 200K. Cannot wait for more Chelsea news, though. Thank you for creating a good and healthy platform to give people the opportunity to have their say. Always been my aim, and we are going to take it to that next level. The next level's coming now, and I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait for it at all. Comment here says, Trippier was one of the main reasons why Atletico Madrid won the Spanish league title last season over Barca and Real Madrid. I disagree with Leaf earlier as well. I just didn't address it. I think he was very good at Tottenham. I think he was just overanalyzed. A little bit like Harry Maguire in the last 12 months. Overanalyzed, overcriticized. And then we see, for whatever reason, we see him go away to England. And maybe now because everybody doesn't want him to feel the pressure that he feels when he's in a Man United shirt, they were backing him and he was sensational. There were even people that said to me they got so indoctrinated by the over criticizing of Maguire, they forgot how good he was. And then as soon as everybody started praising him, they could see the wood for the trees again. And it's why I implore people to stop listening so much to other people. Read it, but make your own mind up. And do you know how I know when people don't make their own mind up? I'm going to talk about Rants for a minute. Rants, whether you like him or not, Rants comes out with some gems. Rants comes out with things about football players that are Rants originals. And the amount of people that come on the terrace and just, they go, oh, I don't like X. And then they give their reason. And they're like parrots. They're just parroting what somebody else is saying. You challenge it a bit and they've got nothing else to say on the matter. Why? Because it isn't their thoughts. They're just doing it for clout because they haven't got their own brains. And that's what I would say about when it comes to Maguire. I sat there and looked at it and thought, I don't even understand half this criticism. I've never seen a centre-back overanalyze like this in my life. As soon as the overanalyzing stopped and everybody was supportive of him. And by the way, he made some mistakes in most games. Remember against Denmark very early on, that really bad back pass, went for a corner. He made mistakes in the majority of games. But overall, he was brilliant. No one focused on his mistakes. Where in a Man United shirt, everything that isn't perfect is what's focused on. And we have a handful of players we do that to. We focus on the imperfections rather than the 95% of things they do perfectly. Next on the show, we are going to get Gunnar Express here with us. Gunnar Express, you signed Ben White. He's an Arsenal player. Give me your thoughts.
Well, originally, I wasn't happy about the deal. I think we can get much better for the price. I get why he is obviously that expensive due to the English tax and things like that. But I really don't think he's as good as Arsenal fans make out. But then again, most of our fan base always overhype players that just aren't deserving of that. But he's our player, so I'm going to back him. I'm not one of these fans who's just going to hate on players who we sign. Maybe I don't agree with them being at the club, but I'm not a manager. I'm not a scout. I'm not any of these certain people for a reason, because these guys are more knowledgeable than me, and I've just got to trust what they say. But yeah, I think he's definitely a better centre back than anything we've got right now. I think he easily walks in and becomes the best centre back we have. And it'll be interesting to see where he's used. I mean, I see a lot of people saying maybe we're going to use him at right back. Maybe, you know, he'll fit in at centre defensive midfield every now and then. But I don't know. It's an interesting deal. It's a deal that I think could go wrong. I think it's really there's similarities to Safi, where a player who we haven't seen enough of, you know, we're spending a lot of money on him. The fans are happy. He's young, this and that, and he comes in and fails. But again, we've just got to see what happens. That's about it. But the main thing I'm happy about is that we're making deals. You know, the one thing I've been complaining about is the lack of business so far in the window, and we've signed 2 players now, possibly 3 when Lokonga's done, which you know I know is very close to being done as well. So that's 3 players down, and you know, a few more that we need as well. But you know, it's definitely positive news for Arsenal right now.
Yeah, 110%. Very, very positive news indeed. Done as well. So, listen, my brother, thank you very much for coming on and having your say. Really appreciate it. Thank you very, very much indeed. Top man. Thank you. Micah Johnson, thank you very much for your super chat. Appreciate the kind words. And of course, big shout out to Daniel, KJ, David Neeks, and all of the Football Terrace community. No one came on tonight, actually, from the group chat. I don't know what's wrong with them all. Living their lives is what they're doing there. Everyone who's tuned in this evening, I know there's still a lot of callers waiting and more to come, but we've come to the end of the show tonight on the terrace. We're back tomorrow with more content for you. Congratulations to Arsenal for signing Ben White. More deals on the way. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless.